When it comes to BC, Victoria and Vancouver, they are the province. I mean, to start with Vancouver, it's the economic hub. It's a cosmopolitan city. It's a very well-known city in terms of Canada. A lot of people have visited Vancouver, listed as their favorite city for a reason. But Victoria, you can't discount Victoria's history as a city as well. I mean, Victoria is the political capital of British Columbia. We forget that. One's on an island. It's more of that laid-back West Coast. One's in a city. It takes the only way to get there is by ferry or by boat plane.
Pa was a player that became a coach. He had some history in a good way. How he's been a player, an assistant coach here, then experience in Cincinnati, and I think that for him to get his first coaching job being Pacific in an area that he knows so well, it's great.
I have something many of them don't have, which is that championship medal. So for us, and that's what I tell my boys, is like we're in a unique situation, you know, for them to show their abilities and what they're capable of doing, you know, and it's for the whole Canada. People will see that, you know, and for their future as well, because some of them want to measure themselves at the highest level. And right now, if you look at our players, MLS is the next step for some of them, right? So this is their biggest game in their career, which I just tell them, we're not playing for the occasion, we're playing just the game, because ultimately that's what it is. Once you step on these white lines here, you know, that's all it is, right? Anything else don't matter.
You know, we developed players with potential. It was just unfortunate at the age of 16, even though they were playing U18, they didn't really have a place to go and develop their skills. If the Canadian Soccer League was around, I think, like the loan system, they would have been picked up, no question.
To give kids the realization that they can actually be professional, that they can be like Alphonso Davies, or maybe even be a Marco Bustos and, you know, win a game like that, or play for the Whitecaps that BC plays. And that increases our player pool, and it increases our visibility of the sport in this country.
This is one step that takes us closer to the final and to the championship. And it's about winning trophies. We won this trophy once before, and I remember, you know, the feelings and what it did for us as a team, what it did for us as a club, and what it meant for our fans.
On paper, there's a lot of people and players who have gone through the Whitecap system. So that's what makes this game so fascinating for Pacific, that they have such a strong Vancouver connection despite being a team on the island.
So when Pacific FC started in 2019, it was an ideal outlet for these young guys to get professional contracts and to still play their football in BC.
I've trained with these guys, and we see these guys on TV, but we're actually playing against these guys not in just like a preseason game like we did a few months ago. This is an actual like competitive game with something on the line. So I think it's just going to add to that spark of the game.
With Mamadou Ka, I mean, he's one of my favorite teammates of all time. He's not only a great teammate, he's a good friend, and, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
I get the sense that Pa understands the opportunity that there is, and, you know, he's a hot property. Teams around MLS are looking at him as a potential coach, or assistant coach, or head coach.
It's a big game. It's a rivalry game. And it's not just a rivalry game for the players, because the players know how much the fans want to win. I'm sure for Pacific to beat an MLS team in their second year, that's bragging rights for you.
And I like what Pacific have done in the build-up to this game. They've decided if anyone on the island brings along some Whitecaps merchandise, they'll swap it for Pacific merchandise. That's how it should be.
And it's like there's two BC clubs playing against each other, and it's like the two professional clubs in BC. So it's cool to see my club be doing some like petty stuff like that, to try and build up the rivalry and like show up for this game.
What we have to remember with the Whitecaps is, as kind of mentioned, they're a turbulent franchise. They've had a few rough years off the field and on the field. So you've got a lot of fans questioning, do they just want to pour support into a team that hasn't necessarily had the results? Do they want to support a team that morally hasn't always, been an easy team to support the past few years? And then on the other hand, you got a Pacific team that's brand new. So there's going to be a lot of fans on the fence. And this could be a game where a lot of people choose sides.
Since the announcement of the team, for sure, I was all in for PFC. It's the local team for the island. But growing up, like a lot of kids here, you're exposed to the Whitecaps early. But, you know, when that local team was announced, these are guys from BC, and it's in your backyard. And the fact that you can drive to a game on an afternoon, you know, Sunday afternoon, pretty special.
I think this rivalry really is showing that there's a lot of Canadian talent out there and a lot of players that deserve to be playing at professional level. Of course, there's some fantastic players on Pacific that were with the Whitecaps and probably feel that they should have been with them. We just didn't have a place for them to grow, and now they have that. So yeah, well, you know, why wouldn't they want to come back and show the Whitecaps what they've missed? So
we'll see what happens, but this is fantastic. And this is something that I think a lot of people were looking forward to when the team was announced. Way back 2018, 2019, we were talking about this forever. What if we played the Whitecaps? What would that look like? The Whitecaps are an institution in BC. You know, their logo, their brand is everywhere.
But once we saw this fixture come out, everyone was super excited, and I don't think anybody really needed any extra motivation coming into this game today. We got to show them that they kind of made a mistake in letting us go, you know?
We're not an underdog. I don't believe in underdog. That's what I say. It's out there. It don't matter. People can make all the stats they want. I couldn't care less about the stats of who got money, who don't got money. Because by the end of the day, it's what you do on the pitch, right? So those evaluation and to create underdogs, we're not underdogs. I never will go in a game thinking ourselves as underdogs. Never. We're going in the game as equals, because that's what we are.
For the Whitecaps, there's certainly a team that needs to get up for games. When they get up for games, they tend to play their best. When they're together, when they're going after it. But they let others dictate the game too much, which can be dangerous, because on the other side, Pacific's strengths are the fact that they're a team that's very unified. You watch, they're so fluid. It reminds me a bit of that kind of total football, you know, that Dutch philosophies.
You cannot go out twice in a row against Canadian Premier League team. It would be devastating for not the organization, but the people that are currently in charge of sporting decisions at the organization. That includes Marc Dos Santos, right? Even though his team has been in great form, I think he cannot afford losing this game.
Yeah, you know, these are the best games that you want your players to be in. So for me, I'm genuinely happy, and I know that they will be buzzing, because I've had the pleasure of playing in these games and understanding what it means, you know, as a player, and to be on the sideline and watching them play. It's an extra motivation, you know, for myself, because that was all my dream, you know. Can I help these players be in this kind of position to play these kind of games, you know, and leave a legacy? And I believe that today a legacy will be left.
I think we treat this just like any other game. It doesn't change our process, doesn't change what we do in preparing. This is, like I said, this is a big opportunity for us to go get a trophy. You know, the personnel, the opposition, it all remains the same. You prepare the exact same way.
I get on one hand, it's the athlete speak. You wanna, you know, you're focusing on winning the championship. You do metaphorically have bigger fish to fry. You wanna beat your TFCs. You wanna beat your CF Montreals. For them, Pacific FC is just kind of a stepping stone on the way to that. But you have to be careful. First of all, it's one-legged ties. It's never in anyone's favor. One bad bounce, one trip here, one slip here. It all evaporates for you, so they have to be careful of that. And then you're on the road. You're playing in a tough stadium, a Pacific team that you're playing the first place team in the CPL. Last time you played the first place team in CPL, you lost. So you don't necessarily have this history. I think they're not realizing maybe how much this means to Pacific.
Well, I think that the first, after so many days, I think 539 days, something like that, that we didn't have a connection with our fans. It was great that the first day was at BC Place and connecting with them again after the win against LAFC. But now there's another phase of that connection in another game only 5 days later. And I think it's great that we could play this derby with fans in the stadium. Is just something special for everyone.
That's why the Seattle rivalry, when I played with the Whitecaps, was so big, because whether it was home or away, there was two sets of fans that were prominent in the stadium and that were loud. But now with Pacific, you can have an opportunity, whether it's in BC Place or whether it's on the island, you can have the opportunity to see two rival fans trying to out-sing, out-chant each other, and that's going to be fantastic.
When you're on the field and you hear the fans and you feel their energy, it really uplifts you. Like, you make a mistake and you hear the fans behind you, like they got your back, like that mistake's gone. You're already moving on, and they're a huge help. They really are our 12th man.
They are the dominant force for many, but that can change. I think Pacific's quickly growing a reputation.
Bragging rights to say you're the best team in Canada. And you always want to be the best. You always want to win trophies. You always, winning is a mentality and it's contagious. We're coming off a good spell right now within the league and the MLS. We want to continue riding that wave. And this tournament comes at a good time. I think our team's prepared for it.
Pacific is on the come up right now. I think we're doing really well. And right now I think we're in a better position than they are, obviously in their league, but they're at a higher level, so I don't know.
BC's team's going to be whoever wins on Thursday, that's for sure, till they play again. That's probably best way to leave it, right? Because there's an argument for both, so whoever's got the bragging rights, they can be BC team until somebody takes that away from them.
For me, it's Vancouver, for me, right? But I'm sure if you ask everybody in Pacific, they're gonna have a different opinion. But you know what? Our focus as a club is to move on in the competition, and we'll do everything it takes to get to the next round.
We don't know yet because the game hasn't played. After this game, we'll find out. After the game is what they decide on. That will be for the people. But we know what we are.
In the 2021 Canadian Championship and represents a small piece of Canadian soccer history, the first ever meeting between Pacific FC of the Canadian Premier League and their big brothers from the mainland, the Vancouver Whitecaps of Major League Soccer. Trying to cushion the ball forward. Irving came, didn't collect. Norton air kicked, and in the back of the net was. Ball not away yet. Aparicio, can he get his shot away? Manny Aparicio. Trying to turn the corner. Hurd did well. Hurd's away here. Josh Hurd. Dixon in the middle. Hurd's going to go alone. He's done it. Josh Hurd called his own number. And Pacific lead the Whitecaps by 3 goals to 1 in the 2021 Canadian Championship. Metcalf to the far side, plenty forward. It's Gold, he's got one back. Aparicio, just try and curl it in there. It's going to be in the back of the net, it is, it's Alvaro Diaz. It fell kindly for him, and Diaz just swung his right boot at it. And Pacific lead the Whitecaps by 4 goals to 2 with 15 minutes remaining. Trying to score the Whitecaps' 3rd goal of the night. Dahomey against Irving. And Irving saves, and Dahomey slots in the rebound. 2 penalties on the night. And the referee says that'll do. It's the final action. What an incredible cup tie.
You can see, Park Stadium, Vancouver is purple. Like I said prior, the game is not me. The game was about the players. And the players were fantastic. Me as a coach, I have nothing to say. And when you have fans carrying the players, that is the 12 men, you know, and that is very important for us. Our boys was feeding on it. To Josh's point, from the very first minute, we brought the intensity, urgency, you know, we were relentless, and that carries on. And that energy is contagious. And today it was a beautiful thing to see.
But I want to congratulate Pacific for their energy, for what they brought, and we were all aware of that. We knew that it would be this type of game. We knew it would be a scrappy game where first, second ball battles, and they did a very good job at that. And when you have a tough time matching that, it's tough to win a game like this. Overall, I would say that you cannot win a game where you concede 4 goals. Yeah, that's the game. You go from heaven to hell, hell to heaven quickly.
What is this for? Man, Darby spelled with an E, huh? You on bet? Who? Who's we? Oh, it's Darby Magazine. Okay. All right then. All right. Paul Moduka interview, take 1 with Darby Magazine. I'm a pro, man. Come on, man. That's what we're doing, bro.